Now, you got a chance to work closely with Big, man. If he was alive today, man, what do you think he would be doing, man?
Flowing. I think he'd be flowing still. Jay's still flowing, Nas still flowing.
Right.
What do you think Big would be doing? Just watching them two?
See, but you know, it's so hard to imagine because he was so young at
Yeah.
a certain point, and the game has changed so
For sure.
crazily, and people have benefited. You know, not throwing shots, but people have benefited from his death.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to imagine Big in 2013, man.
I think he would have just been ill. I don't think MC. I think certain MCs get better with time.
I wonder, could Big have done other arts? Did you know, was Big a painter? Could Big have been a stand-up comedian?
I'm pretty sure he definitely could have been a stand-up comedian. He was fucking funny as hell. Big was funny.
What was one of the
humor.
What was one of the funniest things that you take? One thing, please. One thing that nobody else ever heard before.
Well, actually, I remember me and Kiss was chilling with Big smoking, and Big did a feature. I don't remember who it was for, but I know he did a feature, and he got the money. And then Puff called and something happened with the feature or something. And Big was like, I spent that dime. This shit was already spent. Like, me and Kiss was crying about that shit, because it was like, oh, spent that already, homie. Like, so to us, he was just, all around, he was just a humorous guy. Like, just to even anything, like, Big was just fucking funny. Like, he was a cool ass dude.
I feel like just from watching him through media, Big could have been an actor. Big could have been somebody who maybe even went behind the scenes and became like an A&R or an exec.
Definitely. I mean, you know that from him putting out Junior Mafia.
Right, exactly.
He
He wasn't exec.
He
then
wasn't
behind the
exec.
scenes.
He came into the game early, putting his team on.
Right.
Like,
And
you
not
know
just
what
a
I'm saying?
team, I mean, Little Kim had legs.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he came in and left the imprint quick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He set a standard fast.
Do you remember your last conversation with Big?
Actually, yeah, it was about a long conversation. It was same week he died. He was just telling us, hold our head, stay cool. This is the record business. You know what I'm saying? Just focus. We gonna work it out. Don't worry. I'm gonna make sure I chop it up, homie. Like, that was our last.
Was it kind of like a different conversation that y'all usually had, in a sense?
Well, he knew us and Puff was kind of tight at each other at the time.
Right.
So it was just more like a big brother, like, you know, this is how the game go. Let me school y'all. Let me tell y'all this. We're gonna chop it up. We gonna build, relax.
He wanted to keep the team together, in a sense.
Yeah.
So what's the story now about Guru and the being the victim of identity theft?
Yeah, somebody did identity theft on him. He didn't know.
Okay.
He was double parked. We were all talking to Big, and a couple of brothers from the Junior Mafia. We all posted up, and I wasn't there. I was still at the house, but Guru, you know, again, it was regular just to see us all. Me, Big Shug, Guru, Dap, just all of us would just hang out there. I remember when Guru told Shug, yo, you gotta hear this dude Biggie Smalls rhyme. He'll rhyme right down the corner and just bug out all night, because Shug can freestyle good. And so Guru's down there, and the cop pulls over because he's double parked and telling him to move the car. And he said, yeah, but to be a little more nitpicky, let me see your license. He runs check on that. It runs check that that name's under credit card fraud.
Right.
So he's telling him, hey, I gotta take you in. He's like, yeah, but this is he said, cause they asked for the credit card and he had it on him. So they were like, well, we still gotta take you in because that's what's saying over the radio. And he called me, and Big and them say, hey man, listen, get that Premier, and we'll meet up with him and get the car. And Big said, I got it. I'll hold on to it. I was like, cool. You know, so I'm on my way down there. Big is sitting in the driver's seat, and Big's just sitting there, and I'm like, yo, you're not gonna move the car because you've been sitting there for a minute. He goes, I don't know how to drive. Like, you know, so, and Big never learned how to drive.
Real Brooklyn shit.
He was always on the passenger seat, but owned the cars.
What was your relationship like with Big, man? You were saying how you took him to you drove him when he got his first check.
Well, it was one of his first big checks. It wasn't his first check.
Right.
There was a time when we was just leaving Burt Padell's office. I went over there to get a check for something, and Big was getting a check for something. And we bumped into each other as we was leaving. And my homie drove me to Burt Padell's office. I didn't have my license yet. And It was a small American-made car, something like a Camaro or something.
Two doors.
Two doors. It had back seats, but them shits looked like they wasn't really no back seats.
Right.
They was just there.
It's a little shelf and shit.
Yeah, so my man's driving, I'm in the passenger seat, and Big,
You ain't let Big get the passenger seat, man.
nah, but yo, you fucked up, son. It wasn't that I didn't let him get the back seat. I didn't stop him from getting the front seat, rather.
Right.
He just chose to get in the back, which was intriguing to me because I didn't understand how he was gonna pull that off, but he got in the back seat and we rode back to his crib. I think he had just finished Ready to Die album and he was excited, man, and it was the most funniest shit on the way home because, you know, them cars is low to the ground, the suspension is stiff as hell, New York City streets is fucked up, and there ain't no room for him in the back.
And he's adding weight to the shit.
Yeah, we hitting bumps, all kind of shit, we dipping through the traffic. He's just in the back seat going through hell, man. And we get to his crib, and when we're at the crib, he started to dub the Ready to Die album on a double cassette deck. And he was giving away his album for free. And this was at a time when, you know, the African dudes was bootlegging shit crazy, and
Bootlegger was
you
rampant.
know, we was on our anti-bootlegging campaigns, damn near busting their ass whenever we seen them selling our shit illegally or whatever.
Bootleg, you get your leg broke.
Word. So the dude, Big, was giving his shit away for free, and I was looking at Big like,
And had cats outside waiting for this shit.
yeah, because he had already had his buzz up so stupid.
Right.
By
Especially
the
in
time
Brooklyn.
by the time he was ready to put that album out, they was thirsty for whatever Big was doing. So when word got around and like within the hour from when we got to his crib to drop him off, you know, we there chilling and we blazing an L or two, and word spread. Couple dudes had the album, got them running around the hood saying they got Big album.
I got Ready to Die.
They playing shit, niggas hearing shit, niggas start racing the Big crib. So the Big crib started to look like this nigga was selling the best crack from his house.
Crack house.
So then they got a line in front of his crib that went down the steps, and he lived on a
Stop, man. He had a line.
He had a line, man, and it was just like about a good 20 people on a line just waiting to get their copy.
And that's a slow process,
He
too.
was he's dubbing these shits,
Right.
and niggas just waiting. And
Ooh, Puff would have been mad.
whoever had the CD, not the CD, the cassette,
Cassette.
was playing the shit in front of his crib, and it just became like a little mini party. But I'm looking at Big, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, what part of the game is this shit?
Right. You giving out free shit, my
Well,
dude.
and during the time when we hated a nigga for selling our shit illegally,
Right.
so Big said, yo, what you gotta understand is this, Bus. If everybody playing your shit, it makes niggas perceive that you got the hottest shit in the street because everybody's playing it. So the nigga that ain't playing it look like the dickhead. So I looked at this motherfucker and I still didn't agree with it, but I understood it and I thought it was brilliant because when I left out of the crib after we was blazing and chopping it up and you seeing some homies that you know coming through and the whole little team hanging out, vibing, when you got outside the crib to see the result, because now it became dudes dubbing the tape for other dudes. So they was doing Big's work for him. You know what I'm saying?
Went viral.
It went viral in the street. And it was like, this is the most amazing shit I ever seen, because it really created that, it boosted the
demand.
excitement so stupid. It created demand for sure. The demand was at an all-time high.
And he was ahead of his time, because that's what cats
That's what we
gotta
do
do right
today.
now. Right.
You gotta leak joints.
Right.
And you know, I always admired how smart he was about soliciting his shit and marketing himself and making sure that it was clear that he was that dude. And he also felt that confident about his shit where he just was like, this ain't hurting myself.
I'ma sell anyway.
I'm gonna get this money regardless. And that whole charisma and confidence was really inspiring for me at the time too, because he was just so nonchalant about the shit.
Right.
and then to see it play out the way it did, when you really saw him on that Source cover with that crown on his head and
That shit was real.
that King of New York title,
was
man,
real.
that's when it was mandated officially.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we've never seen another New York rapper get that look.
Get ready for combat. No escaping.